Hello ITS interpreters, this is John. I was recording a video because I wanted to review our confirmation and reminder call policy and script. Reason for this is we've seen some inconsistency in adhering to the policy and had some questions on this, as well as we've gotten a couple of complaints from some of our clients who are expecting to see pretty consistent communication on this. And we've seen some appointments that then have failed to complete when we found out that we probably could have or even should have known that there was going to be a problem with the appointment. And in the process of talking to an interpreter, we discovered that we should have known, could have known, and that we didn't comply with that policy. So we'll review this. It's not going to make a very long video here. So you can see in front of me is the interpreter menu. I've made some appointments for my test interpreter account. And so as always, I go to my assignments, manage your assignments. You can see I have 3 assignments for pelvis parsley. One on the 15th, one on the 18th, one on the 21st. Now, typically you're not going to have to make separate calls to confirm different appointments for the same individual when they're close like this. I just made these appointments all the same effectively so I can make the video quickly. But like always, I just click on this bit of information. The entire thing's a hyperlink. So you click on this, and again, I can see all the information, the name, date and time, and the bits of information. Again, it's at Best Ice Cream at 1313 Mockingbird Lane. I wish I had an ice cream shop. And I can see out here, when I scroll down, here are the client comments. Sometimes, the interpreters say, well, I don't see where the phone number is. And where they are is they're out here in My Assignments. They don't log all the way into the appointment itself. Or they just kind of look here, and they don't scroll down. It's down here towards the bottom, and you can see client comments where that information is entered. And you can see me as the client entered this, please confirm the appointment, and then there's a second comment here that shows that phone number. This would represent perhaps they didn't provide that number and we asked for it, or they forgot and entered it. So again, let's just pretend I've made the call. I've come out and confirmed who they are, the date and the time, and where the appointment is going to take place. And I've confirmed that appointment. So I'm going to log back into this and go to New Comment and leave the comment Appointment Confirmed. Now you can leave more information. Obviously, you could say, appointment confirmed with pelvis. Perhaps maybe you spoke with an authorized individual, was another name, another number, a son, a daughter, confirmed with son, patient will be there, or something along those lines. That should be done 24 hours after accepting the appointment. This appointment was made on the 9th. I accepted it on the 9th. I should make that call to confirm the appointment on the 9th, or at the very latest the 10th. That's within 24 hours. Acceptance of an appointment means that you're going to make this call. You're going to commit to make this call and confirm that back with ITS that you've made the call. If you're struggling to do that, then we want to review this process. And if you really don't want to, then we do need to talk about whether or not, as an interpreter, you want to be covering appointments for us, because this is the new expectation, and it's what our clients are paying the fees for. And again, we're not wanting interpreters to make 3 or 5 or 10 calls. I've actually had interpreters just in the last month tell me that they called 10 times. And the point of this process is, in fact, to avoid that. It is to make 1 or 2 very high quality calls that we get the feedback on. It actually takes a lot less time than making 10 phone calls. Is you make one, again, maybe a second call if you've called at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then you're going to call at 5 o'clock at night, and then you come out and you make this note so we know what's going on. So I've confirmed this appointment. So I'm going to come back out. Let's assume this is a different client, not the same one. And I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to make the call. Well, let's say I don't reach them. So I'm going to leave the comment, perhaps I left a voicemail to confirm, right? You can use the abbreviation VM, voicemail, pretty universally understood as voicemail. You can do that. You can also say that I sent a text message, right? Hopefully they will call back, right? And I'd update. Now ITS will watch that and say, okay, well, we'll see how that goes, right? Because just with a confirmation, this is considered adequate notice. We've told our clients that this is considered adequate notice to attempt to confirm it. We don't absolutely have to reach someone. We just have to be able to have a positive voicemail left, sending a text, and not getting something back that's an error, right? So you can also see here, though, actually we don't have the phone number. So what my first comment should really be is, please provide contact number, because I don't have one for this particular individual. But let's say you call and you can't leave a voicemail. As we see a number of immigrants, sometimes they don't have voicemail set up. They're either older, or they kind of assume that no one is going to leave them a voicemail because they don't get many calls from people they don't know, right? Because most of the people they know, are going to reach them. They recognize that number, they'll answer it, and everybody else they assume they can't speak to because they don't speak English well enough to actually speak to those kind of random callers that we in fact happen to be, but of course they can talk to you as the interpreter. So you might see something like leave a message of, called patient, no voicemail set up, sent text. Okay, so the text went through. We didn't get some response back that wasn't a valid number, but we couldn't set up a voicemail. We're probably going to leave that one alone too. It's not a very good confirmation, but we did attempt, right? And we didn't get anything back that said that we couldn't talk to them, right? But there's kind of the worst case scenario where called, voicemail not set up, sent text, received error, number not accepting messages, right? Could be lots of things, or number out of service, or could be perhaps person answered is not patient, does not know who patient is, right? So what we have is a bad number. Any one of these things, when you leave any one of these sorts of instances, that's going to prompt ITS to come back and reach out to the client and try and get a better number, right? What we don't want to see, and I'll go back out to my third appointment here, is the day of the appointment to come, and there's this. You see there's no notes from an interpreter. Yes, okay, there's no phone number from a client, but when we see this, this means the interpreter didn't even look at the comments, right? Or if they did, they didn't do anything with them. And we don't know whether or not the interpreter made a call or not. And we don't know that the patient, we didn't have the patient phone number, that the client didn't provide it. It is the interpreter's responsibility when you see something like this to make the comment that would say, please provide contact number, right? And then, if we have this and you don't hear back from us, it means, we couldn't get one. Maybe we did miss it, but typically it means we couldn't get one. That, the client didn't respond. And when we see this, we can copy this note back up into the client comment section. And if they complain that the appointment failed, then we're in a situation to say, we contacted you, we asked for that number, and you didn't respond. And then, we can justifiably charge a late fee for a failed appointment if there's a no-show or they're too late or something like that. When it's just blank, then our clients have every right to insist that we didn't hold up the end of our bargain, which is in our agreement that we're going to make these calls. Now, I have received a few questions and some requests for phone numbers for national level appointments. Those national level appointments, again, are with entities that are bigger than the local and regional clients that we're dealing with here in Iowa. They are agencies, insurance companies, or even language service providers that cover the entire country, and they come down and request local service from us. So that's companies like Language Service Associates, Paradigm Company, Transcend, Midwest Interpreting Service, Metatranslate. All these companies, when you look at them, you've kind of never heard of them. And that's one of the best ways. And they will never have any sorts of comments out here that are going to request confirmation phone numbers. And the one that we see the most, again, is Language Service Associates. We are their preferred provider in Iowa, that if they can't fill it with some of their subcontractors, their direct subcontractors, they're going to come to us and have us fill that appointment. We see quite a number of appointments from them for various languages. So I just wanted to review, how we make that confirmation call. The reminder call is very similar. The one thing I do want to remind you, I'll pop this up if you can see my calendar. If this appointment is on the 15th, that means that my reminder call should be 2 business days before. So my confirmation call, is made the day or the day after I make that call, then 2 business days. 2 business days would be the 14th and the 11th. So for the 15th, I should be making that call on the 11th to remind them of the appointment, even if I call them two days prior. That's okay. Hey, just reminding you, just a couple days before, that you've got the appointment on the 15th. That's making sure that we have enough time, if there's a problem with a number or the patient has an issue, that we can confirm this. Remember, if you wait, we're going to run into a situation where we cannot get information. So if I wait till the day of the 14th, I may not have time to get that information back from a client to be able to get you a new phone number or to try and confirm an appointment or switch it an appointment time or things like that. That's why we want to do it 2 business days prior. For my appointment on the 17th, 2 business days prior would be the 15th. So I'm going to call on a Thursday appointment. I'm going to call on the 15th. And then if we have an appointment on the 21st, again, that's a Monday, which means I should be calling to remind them of the appointment 2 business days prior. That would be the 17th, the Thursday before. When you're talking about a weekend, it turns into 4 days before. I do hear that, well, sometimes people forget when you call them that many days in advance. That is possible. But typically 2 business days is more than adequate, especially if you've confirmed an appointment with them. For this 21st appointment, I would call them today, perhaps tomorrow if I was busy or what have you, and then I would be calling them a week later for an appointment in another 4 days. That's really going to be pretty effective. It's what we see with automated notes coming out of doctors' offices to English-speaking patients. So I just wanted to review this. Remember, this is part of our expectation for the policy, and we don't want to run into a situation where we have to deny interpreters late cancellation fees because our clients don't pay those late cancellation fees because we're not making the calls we said we have. If you do have any questions on this, certainly reach out to Yulia or I. We can review this expectation with you. We can talk to you about the ways to receive this. I have linked the file of the confirmation and reminder call policy and script in this video, and so you will be able to download that if you have not otherwise read through that document. It does seem kind of long, but it really is just kind of taking you through all the different sorts of situations that you can run into. That means there's a lot of text, even though these conversations and these calls that you're having really only take a few minutes. Thank you very much for your time, and you all have a great day.